So just introduce yourself and your company.
Hey, my name is Susan Treadgold, and I am the founder of Treadgold Executive Development.
So, Susan, it's pretty appropriate that we met, and it was very well timed, obviously, because you just a few days ago made a decision to come out to Board of Advisors. I'm curious, before we even get started, what was your experience at Board of Advisors?
Oh, amazing. It was such a variety of really interesting people. And, everybody I met was very giving, you
Interesting.
know, I, which
You've probably
is,
been around a lot of masterminds
oh,
and things like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
So, did you have an expectation coming here, or not really, of what you thought it was going to be?
Mm, I didn't know entirely, but
Okay,
I think I've been positively surprised.
solid group of people. Sounds
A
like okay.
solid group of
What would be
people.
your biggest takeaway that you've gotten from being around this mastermind group?
I think my takeaway is that for almost any growth need I would have, there's somebody in the room that could help.
Interesting. That's great. Well, and you're at an elite level, so obviously that says a lot because it's you want to be in a room of peers or above, right, to be able to grow. So give me you're an executive coach, but you're very much networked into a lot of different areas. So give me your background. What brought you took you
Right,
into executive coaching
right, right, right,
prior
right.
to that?
Well, my background, I was an investment banker. I adulted in Europe. I
Okay.
lived 25 years in Europe, 2 years in Germany, and 23 years in London. So I was an investment banker in London, did the tour of the American investment banks, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, and Citigroup.
Okay.
And my last role at Citigroup was head of corporate marketing for Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Okay.
So I've seen thousands of pitches.
Yeah.
And I left and well, yeah, it was the crash in 2008. I was on maternity leave, had to make loads of people on my team redundant, and had the opportunity to pivot. And I was actually gonna go work at another bank, and then I had, you know, a couple of months off, and I finished my master's in corporate and executive coaching, which I had started years earlier, but it was too busy, and I never managed to do my dissertation, so I finally finished it off.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, so what have you been doing since you left Citigroup?" And I'm like, "Well, funny you should ask. I just finished my master's in corporate and executive coaching." And they said, "Well, we need one." And I'm like, "Shut the door."
Oh, no way.
And
Yeah.
and and so, yeah, I ended up getting my first job coaching before I even had a business card or a website.
Wow.
And I spoke at a lot of, like, women in banking and finance events and things like that because, I did a lot of public speaking even when I was at
Yeah.
Citigroup.
Okay.
When they have a senior female, they do try to
Expedite the exposure.
trot you out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll give you some visibility.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, and so I had a personal challenge, shortly thereafter, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and through that healing journey, I became really interested in health and wellness
Mm.
and how that is changing so quickly. And there is so much information out there. And so I ended up building quite a network in healthcare, longevity, med tech,
Mm.
biotech. I live in San Diego now, which is kind of the home of longevity and
Yes.
biotech.
Yeah.
And so I just decided to kind of combine my coaching
Yeah.
and my, investment banking background. And right now I am helping early stage companies in those sectors with their pitching, presenting, and connecting with investors and resources. I have over 20,000 people on LinkedIn. I've lived in 5 different countries. So my friends call me the connectress.
Uh,
And so I that's what I'm really excited about, finding world changing companies that I want to get out there and get maximum exposure for.
well, so not
And
only do you have a proven background of business and investing pushed into executive coaching, but now it sounds like you kind of have a passion in that biotech medical health field,
yeah, that's
and you've
right.
combined all three of those things.
Yeah.
Wow. So that you're doing
And
what you
speaking,
love and speaking about it, right?
yeah, I've done a lot of public speaking, including a TEDx talk in Florence, Italy earlier this year.
What made you decide to do that? Now, did the speaking just stem from your because on top of all that, you have a vast network, right? Of a lot of connections. Did the speaking just come because you intentionally wanted to speak on topics, or did it just evolve because of your connections?
The
Like to be a
spe- this
speaker takes effort
The
at any time,
speaking
right?
really started at Citigroup, and a friend of mine wrote a book, and he cited an interview, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, about people's 3 greatest fears. And it was the first one, it was called And Death Came Third, Andy Lapata. And the number one fear was walking into a room full of people you didn't know. The
Okay.
second one, there was the fear of public speaking.
Speaking,
And then
and then death
the
comes the
third,
third,
and then
right?
death
Oh my
comes
gosh, that's
third.
great.
And that one of the things that you can do for your career that'll really set you apart is learn how to speak publicly.
Mm,
And so I joined Toastmasters. And after several years, I was a finalist for the UK and Ireland in the speech competition. And so, they start off, slow.
yeah, yeah.
And then it was just more and more challenges. There was something I did a few years ago called a Sue Talk, Successful, Unstoppable, Empowered Women. So
Mhm.
instead of Ted, it was Sue.
Sue.
It has nothing to do with
So you
my
did a
name.
TED Talk and a Sue Talk,
I've done
and
a
you're
Sue
Sue,
Talk
so
and a
that's
TED Talk.
obviously
Yeah.
a poster child for Sue Talk,
Yeah.
right? I got it, okay, you got it.
And, then as the lone woman in a lot of my banking career, I female empowerment is important to me. So I'm on the leadership committee of 50/50 Women on Boards, and I wrote 3 books related to female empowerment. I co-authored 2 books in the Success University for Women series, and then I wrote the bestseller, The High Performing Woman. And
Oh,
my
great.
talk show has the same name, and I
Okay,
interview female founders
okay.
and female funders.
Is that your primary client base with your executive coaching is female C-suite entrepreneur, whatever, or is it not the
That's what
case?
the marketing is targeted towards, but,
But not always the case?
3/4 of my coaching clients at the moment, and this is something that I'm de-emphasizing, I'm not promoting it
You're
as
not
much.
actively, okay.
Yeah, but 3/4 of my clients are actually men right now.
Mhm. And obviously
So,
because of your background and your credibility and things in
yeah,
that arena.
yeah.
I'm curious to ask you this, so what was your TED Talk on?
It's called Fix Your Flat Tire: How Energy Transforms Your Life. And in the beginning of my book, which was The High Performing Woman 52 Take Action Tips for Greater Confidence, Energy, and Impact. And I focus
Okay.
on energy in the beginning because really everything is energy. Time is finite, energy is limitless. And that's what I tie to success. And it's
Mm.
also what I tied to my healing. Your
You
my
your
selling,
personal stuff, got it, got it.
yeah,
Okay.
our healing from breast cancer. And I really wanted to put it into a framework.
Yeah,
And how am I going to get healthy? And like the first area of energy was foundational: the air, water, sleep, supplements, food, sunlight that I'm putting into my
yeah,
body. That's my foundation. Then there's connection energy. I had a husbandectomy.
yeah, I
That's,
gotcha, I got
how you interact and communicate with people, your relationships. They're either giving you energy or taking them away.
yeah,
Then you have move energy. That's everything from
active,
the exercise you take or don't, but
yeah,
it's also your posture,
yeah.
your facial expressions.
How you carry yourself,
There's a
everything,
great
yeah,
TED talk by Amy Cuddy from Harvard that showed that open, expansive body language lowers your cortisol and increases your
mhm,
testosterone. So it makes you less stressed and more energized.
yeah,
It directly hormonally affects your energy.
right.
So just the way you move.
Science has really proven a
Yeah.
lot of that now, which is
Yeah.
before, not necessarily the case. Did that stem out of your personal experience, or have you always kind of been in the personal development energy type arena, or did it stem from your personal, breast cancer that you were going through?
It
Did
kind
it
of stemmed from that
so
because
because
then I
you're a
started,
banker,
well,
investment banker,
I
businesswoman, right?
yeah, I had qualified in the coaching before that, but and so I learned a lot of things that,
Strategy,
yeah,
tactics,
yeah,
those, right?
exactly. But really, I called it the personal energy wheel, and really rating yourself and finding
Mhm.
out where you have an energy leak and what you can do to plug up that leak.
Yeah,
So your wheel will run, so you're
yeah.
not having a flat tire. And so,
So you were literally the case study for your own frameworks that you built
yeah,
because most executives, and this was a question I was meaning to ask you ever since you started mentioning executive coaching. Most executives, male or female, have gotten to where they are because of these skills and strategies and aggressive a personality, whatever it is that's gotten them where they are. It's certainly not because of their focus on a lot of times energy and things. And so as you do executive coaching, do you find that it's a message that's well received to tap into your energy? And is that part of the framework for your executive
Well,
coaching,
sometimes you
both
need to
energy and strategy?
yeah, sometimes you need to put it in a framework that is less woo-woo and feels like, "Okay, do you wanna
Meet them
show
where
up
they're
with
at?
executive stamina and bring your A game?"
Got it.
You know, that's what you say to a guy that's
But in
just
your
like
mind, you know what you're really
yeah,
gonna do. Yeah, it's like, do you wanna be
yeah,
the
yeah,
one in
yeah,
the room, right?
yeah,
And then they're receptive and
yeah,
open. It's funny because I just gotta digress for a second. So we've done events forever. I mean,
yeah,
big, 250,000 people a year type events. And I used to do a lot of marketing for Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, and these guys, and we could not get people to get out of bed to come to personal development. But when we said secrets of the millionaire mind or do real estate, and then we tried to pepper in your inner game creates your outer game, and your success will be your mindset or you won't do the deals. It worked.
yeah.
Now in the current market, post COVID, I feel that personal development energy, and whether it's the science base of whatever, has been much more mainstream. Do you
Mhm.
see that as well?
Totally.
And so it's more receptive
People
now
had to spend a lot of time with themselves during
to
COVID, right? And
realize
a
what
lot
is
of
going
in their
on in here.
relationships, they're like, "Oh, what? I'm married to you?"
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot.
Give me your three energies. So foundational, relationship,
You
and
go
then
foundation energy, connection energy, move energy, pause energy. That is like getting still. It's the meditation,
yeah.
the it's the deconnecting.
Yeah.
That
I'm a big
point.
Ryan Holiday fan,
Yeah.
with like stillness is the key, right? So that's the ultimate piece. So is this your TED talk? All four of these are the things you
There's
discussed?
6 things in the
Okay.
wheel.
I'm sorry. Keep going
Yeah,
then.
that's okay. I'm losing track. One of them is space energy. So the things that you surround yourself with physically on your body, I mean, there's all sorts of factual scientific energy about endocrine disruptors from the synthetic fibers on you, the creams, skin's your biggest organ, to the things you're visually
Mm,
looking at. They see people in hospitals that have a view on nature recover faster than people who don't. So
yeah.
being aware of your space, even like the ergonomics of things, your bed, your chair, all of these things, are, either adding to your energy or taking away. And
That's the interesting thing about energy is whether you're consciously or unconsciously doing anything about it, it is affecting you.
that's
Your energy of everything, right? So it's kind of like anything else in your environment. It's going to affect you positively or negatively, whether you admit it or not. What do you think is one of the, because you're an executive coach, you deal with a lot of individuals, you're actually here for clients as well. What do you think is one of the biggest obstacles that a high level executive deals with on a basis that drives them to you? Is it just functionally? Is it burnout? Is it stress? What are some of the most common things that you deal with?
it's relationships.
Okay.
You know, I was
That they're
just
aware
thinking,
of, or you think that's the problem they deal with? Are they aware that my relationships are suffering, so they're driven to seek answers, or are you saying that's one of the biggest solutions?
no, I mean, performance is potential minus interference. And it's finding out what's their interference. And their interference, more often than not, is relationships. It
Mm,
could be the interference is their relationship with their truculent teenage child that won't get off gaming, or it is their relationship with their spouse,
yeah.
or it's politics at work.
Uh,
It always that's the
that's
biggest
interesting perspective. I
the
didn't yeah.
interference. That's usually.
Relationship related, which, probably is a direct tie into energy too, right?
Mhm.
Huh, that's interesting. I love that. What are you most passionate about right now? Like, in other words, give me a vision of what you're trying to accomplish over the next 2, 3 years.
I really want to change our healthcare system. I think it's broken and and I want to bring awareness. I healed naturally from breast cancer without the standard of care of chemo,
Wow.
radiation, and surgery. And, you know, my friends had to do interventions on me. They're like, "You're a mother, you're insane, go do chemo." And their people health is like religion. They believe in their doctors. Trying to talk about it
It's hard to
is
break that
it's
connection.
hard. And there are so many things, like literally, if you can stay alive the next 5 or 10 years, you'll probably live for another 50. There are so many things coming in the longevity
Innovation.
space, and I'm wanting to bring awareness of this. In fact, I'm working with a couple of companies right now There is Dr. Nathan Bryan, who is leveraging all of the Nobel Prize for Medicine for nitric oxide was won in 1998,
Yeah,
and
familiar.
he has the worldwide patent on the solid dose form of nitric oxide, and nitric
Wow.
oxide is what expands your veins and lets more
Yeah,
blood and
yeah,
oxygen through and detox, and so he has these amazing lozenges, which we're hoping to get FDA approval for ischemic heart disease, and he also has things for wound healing and Alzheimer's. I really want to get that out there, and that's really it's not a nutraceutical, it's a nitraceutical, as he said, but
that
it's a
I'm very
physiologic.
familiar with that
It
industry, and I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like actually helping the body what it does naturally, and then I'm also because of my background in breast cancer, I'm quite excited about Malcova. They have invented the replacement for the mammogram with, a 93% improvement in scatter contamination. So the image is crisp and clear, no pain or compression. The mammogram, maybe you don't know this as a man, but it clamps your breasts
Yeah.
and very
Not a great
painful.
process,
No,
obviously.
and it
Yeah, yeah.
also often misses the lymph nodes in the armpit. So this will have an 8 centimeter greater circumference going around the outside. It sees through dense breast. Dense breast tissue looks the same as a tumor forming on a mammogram, so it can be missed. And as of last year, you have to be notified if you have dense breasts, but it's just kind of giving the doctors an out.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no solution to it. And so what happens is the solution is you go for a biopsy. And 80% of biopsies are negative. So women go through all of that stress,
Or
get a
not
big
that
needle stuck in and for nothing. Or the other extreme is 1 in 3 breast cancers have already spread when they're detected because they were
mhm.
missed. Or women avoided the mammograms because they
I
were
was gonna
so
say
painful.
avoiding because of that, plus
Yeah, so
causes.
so I'm really passionate about working with people like them. They're gonna be a game changer for the world, for our health.
So you're passionate about that purpose, but you're doing it from a investment capital, new products, personal, like you're attacking it from every
Yes,
angle.
yes,
That's kind of
yes,
interesting.
you
How
got
that?
it.
And I get it. I get it. You seem to me like the kind of person that's like, well, I'm not going to leave it up to having a great product. If I have to raise the money to do it, and I have to put the awareness, because awareness is a key, but awareness without the capital, strategy, tactic, and product to do it is. And I think you're right. I think besides personal development, physical optimization clinics, things like this, like the trends are really high, but then add technology to that in the next couple of years. I mean, I was just kind of complaining the other day to Michelle because I can't see up close. So I use the glasses, but when I put them down, I can't talk to somebody if I have them on because I can see far, I'm like, this is going to be fixed in the next couple of years. You just have no idea the kind of stuff. So you're right. And you're in medical biotech. And so I love that. What for you, I wish we had more time, but I have so many questions for you. What for you is the biggest need you have to help accomplish your vision over the next 2 to 5 years? And the reason I ask that is because at board of advisors, and this happened to be in the mode I'm in right now, it is always about the give. It is always about how can people help you accomplish your vision and you're helping them accomplish their vision. You're obviously doing that for people with some critical products right now,
Yeah,
accomplish a vision. So what's your to accomplish what you want? What is your biggest need?
it's really to be able to scale myself. I'm only one person.
Yeah.
I'm helping these clients, I'm coaching people, I'm doing a talk show, and I just have an assistant.
Mhm.
I really need some clever systems and automation and finding to really do some deep thinking about how I can
Yeah.
scale my
Yeah.
impact because I want to make a big
I
difference.
tell you, my biggest suggestion, if you don't mind, like I mean, I know a few things, but not much. It's leverage. That's what you need because here's the thing that won't replace you, and this is the common message I see with a lot of people is you delivering the message is more important than the message because your ability to connect, to have your story, to strategize, to raise money and everything is key. You just need leverage. And that's what the beautiful thing about technology now and AI, right? So even with me, I used to try to create Facebook ads for reels from content I did. Now there's AI that I don't even have to log into a Meta business account.
See, that's the type
It's
of thing I
automatic.
just don't know
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
don't,
yeah. Well, we'll connect you with some people that can do it. So, but you're right because the there's so much more ability to get awareness and messaging out now with automation. That's exciting. So I love the passion you have behind it because you're taking everything you have now and you're making it actually feel like you're creating impact and legacy. So, well, good. Well, thank you for taking some time with us. I
My
think this can be
absolute
good.
pleasure.
We'll